Have you ever just stopped and wondered what's actually keeping you going? Like right now, this very second. Well, today, we're going to pop the hood on the human body and take a look at the incredible engine inside, the systems that bring in fuel and, just as importantly, clear out the exhaust.
So let's start with this big question. How is your body like a high-performance engine? I know, it sounds a little strange, but honestly, the comparison is spot on. It needs fuel to run, a way to burn that fuel for pure energy, and, of course, a system to get rid of all the waste it produces.
And that really brings us to the core idea here, the engine of life. Just like any engine, our body has an intake system for fuel, in our case, oxygen, and an exhaust system to handle waste. In biology, we've got names for these. We call them respiration and excretion.
Okay, so let's get one thing straight. When we talk about respiration, it's so much more than just breathing in and out. Respiration is the actual chemical process that unlocks the energy locked away in our food. It's the spark that ignites the engine in every single one of your cells.
So let's begin with that fuel intake, shall we? Welcome to the oxygen journey. We're going to follow a single puff of air from the outside world and see exactly how it gets to where it needs to go to fuel that incredible engine of yours.
And what a journey it is. That air rushes in through your nostrils, travels down your windpipe or trachea, and then splits into two main branches called the bronchi. From there, it's like a tree branching out into smaller and smaller bronchioles, finally ending up in these millions of tiny, tiny air sacs called the alveoli. And that's our destination.
Now, the scale we're talking about here is just mind-blowing. Your lungs aren't just empty balloons. No, they're packed with roughly 700 million of these microscopic alveoli. All of that surface area is there for one single critical job, getting gases in and out. It is an absolutely incredible piece of biological engineering.
And right here at the super thin walls of the alveoli, the magic handover happens. Oxygen just slips out of your lungs and right into your bloodstream. It's immediately scooped up by a special protein called hemoglobin. Think of it as a massive fleet of oxygen delivery trucks, ready to carry that precious cargo to every last cell in your body.
So, where are all these delivery trucks headed? Well, they're going to the engine room of every single cell in your body, a little powerhouse called the mitochondria. This is where the main event happens. This is the whole reason for the journey. It's called cellular respiration.
Now, cellular respiration basically happens in two acts. Act 1 gives you a tiny little burst of energy, but Act 2, happening inside the mitochondria, that's the main show. It uses the oxygen we just delivered to generate a massive amount of energy, way more than Act 1, and it releases carbon dioxide and water as the exhaust. This right here is why oxygen is absolutely non-negotiable for us. But you know, all that incredible energy production, it creates waste. So now we've got to flip to the other side of the story, clearing out that exhaust to make sure the engine doesn't get all clogged up and stop working. And listen, we're not just talking about harmless exhaust like carbon dioxide. When your body breaks down things like proteins, it produces a really toxic substance called ammonia. And if that stuff were just allowed to build up, it would be seriously dangerous for your entire system.
This is where your liver steps up to be the hero. It's the body's master detox center. It grabs that toxic ammonia flowing through the blood and, through some clever chemistry, converts it into a much safer compound called urea. Now it's safe to transport and get ready for removal.
Now, urea then gets sent over to the kidneys, which perform this brilliant three-step process. First, they filter pretty much everything out of the blood. Then, they meticulously go back and reclaim all the good stuff the body wants to keep. And finally, they dump any leftover waste into the remaining liquid, which now becomes urine.
And this table really shows you just how incredibly efficient your kidneys are. Just look at this. You see valuable stuff like glucose and amino acids? They're there in the initial filtrate, but they're completely gone from the final urine. Why? Because the kidneys snatch them back. Meanwhile, the waste product urea gets more and more concentrated, all packed up and ready to be kicked out. It's a remarkably smart filtering system.
So, what is the whole point of all this? Why do we have these two massive, complicated systems working together in perfect sync? Well, it's all about one thing: maintaining balance. And in biology, that perfect balance has a very important name: homeostasis.
So, what exactly is homeostasis? You know, it's your body's amazing ability to keep its internal world, we're talking temperature, water levels, pH, you name it, incredibly stable and constant, no matter what chaos is happening on the outside. It's the ultimate act of self-regulation. It's what keeps you, you. And what's so fascinating is that every living thing has to solve this same problem. A single-celled amoeba, it uses its cell membrane. An earthworm uses its skin. A fish uses its gills. The goal is always the same: get energy in, get waste out. But evolution has come up with countless ingenious solutions to get the job done.
And this brings us to a really important point. This delicate, beautiful balance of homeostasis, it can be disrupted. Our everyday choices, what we eat, our stress levels, whether we move our bodies, all these things can throw the engine out of tune and make it so much harder for our bodies to maintain that crucial stability.
So, we'll end on this thought. Your body's engine is working tirelessly for you, 24/7. It never, ever takes a day off. Now that you've had a peek under the hood and seen just a little bit of what's going on in there, the question is, what are you going to do to help it run as smoothly as possible? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.